validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. On this Wednesday, boy, we've talked about quite a few things this week. I really appreciate some of the fans that has been commenting on the show over the past week. Some of those that have been coming back after a while of being gone. So I really appreciate that. We talked about the dome. We talked about the real IDs, the immigration. We've been talking about business and finance and where to put our money at. We've been talking about trusts and stocks and bonds. I gave my word to some of the fans that have been watching the show that, we were going to be talking about Hong Kong on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, and now we're talking about Hong Kong. We're going to be talking about where to go and what to do. And by this being a male-driven podcast from a male's perspective, we're going to be sitting over here talking about where can we go and do what we want to do to invest, save, make money, find reasonable wives and live happy lives in a way where we otherwise would be satisfied. Now, understandably, we're live 7 nights a week. We're supposed to start around about 10:30 Central Time, which is like 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we do not let the sun rise without going live. So we put a lot of effort into making sure that we're here every night of the week. but we don't always start on time. Stuff happens every single day. The dedication to meet that timeline has been stretched to the limit of when we have our guest star come up onto the show. We should start exactly at 10 o'clock on that night. However, if we don't start a little bit early, more often than not, we're going to be in a situation where we're not gonna let the day go by without us getting on here at some point. So I really appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Like and subscribe as you come in. Mash those reaction buttons. You see the reaction buttons now these days, it should be on the right side. We're using a different format, so you got a comment section that does pop up over here, and any comments are put up in bold over on this side over here, so you guys will be able to see what everybody is saying. So if you're watching us from Twitch or Twitter, you guys know that all three platforms, y'all can click these links. There's Twitter, there's Twitch. Y'all can click these links in your comment section. There's another one here for YouTube. If you approve the mic, approve the camera, it brings you onto the show in real time. So if in the event that you've got something that you want to add, by all means add it. We encourage you to keep your comments appropriate to the show. So if you got something to say, by all means, you can throw that down. But we do have some individuals that come and want to learn some stuff, whether it's relationship topics, stocks and bonds, financing and investments. And since they're not quite yet grown yet, we want to show a little bit of respect for those individuals that fall in. Beyond that, we're going to be, like I told you earlier, unveiling the mystery of why men adore Hong Kong, because we have a lot of the passport bros that go out there to China and Hong Kong, is Thailand, Taiwan, the Philippines. I've been telling y'all for like months as to all the different ways, like specifically going to the Philippines, that you could really go out there and you can find pretty much what you're looking for out there, especially when you're going into some of the rural areas. You can go out there and find what you're looking for like 5% of the cost of what it would cost to get one in America. So we talk about this on like a grand scale, but today we're going to be talking about investment opportunities in Hong Kong, living arrangements in Hong Kong. So we're going to be covering the spread today. Just wanted to remind you guys, because we were looking at, I've been following the stock, because remember I told you that picked up on the Orchid Island stock and it dropped 22%, 22 cents when I picked it up, and now it's back up. So it's now only 11 cents down from when I got into it. And we've got a couple days before the ex-dividend date. So what we're looking at is, if I was to let it go on like the 1st, which is like next week, if it doesn't raise another, because the ex-dividend date is in 2 days. So a lot of people should be buying in. Today is Wednesday. So a lot of people should be buying in by Friday of this week. And that means that the first date that can be sold would be Monday, if you're trying to get out like right then and there. So there likely is an 11 cents per share loss on walking out of the stock if the stock doesn't raise another 11 or 12 cents by Friday night or by Monday morning, something like that. Either way, if you're on the books by Friday, Orchid is paying 12 cents a share this week. And when you walk out of it Tuesday or Wednesday next week, whatever you get the difference between the stock value versus the 22 cents a share loss that you're selling when you do sell. Well, actually right now it's like 11 cents a share loss. So it would be like $10 that I would lose versus the money that I would gain. So instead of me gaining like 20 or 30, I would get the difference, which means I probably would get like 20 off of the total investment. But either way, something is coming. It's not as much as I would have hoped, because if I would have picked it up on the 23rd or 24th of the month, the day after the dip, then I would have had a 20 something cent difference. So paying attention to that, next month I'm going to be hovering around trying to get into it closer to the 24th or 25th of the month when that dip does occur again, assuming that that dip will occur again. Watching the volatility of the market. These are the ways that you maintain your trades in the portfolio in order to try to maximize gains, because there's still going to be a gain. I'm not taking a total loss. Remember, I told you that they determine a loss as whatever you didn't make is a loss. What you could have made versus what you actually made. If what you actually made is less than what you could have made, you lost whatever you left on the table. So by buying in 1 day earlier than I could have stalled for 24 hours. And that could have been detrimental, because I could have stalled and it could have spiked 22 cents a share. Then I would have been missing out on difference. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that I missed the dip because I did not see that dip in the last 30-day projection, since I missed the dip, there's a possibility that I might break even on the sale, but I'm still going to get the X dividends. So what I was doing it for was for the X dividends, not for the sell difference between buying and selling the share. An expert investor would calculate the dividends from the buy-in and the difference in the shares as it sells, and the loss from the shares as it is sold is offset by the dividends that are dispersed, which ultimately means that if you break even between what you got paid out for your X dividends versus what you lost in the sale, then you still took a loss because you lost what you did not get from the sale. I know it's confusing, but recognize, since I know that we're talking about this in a moment, we're about to get started with today's topic, but recognize that on your way into the upcoming month, you don't have to actually sell right away after the X dividend date. You can marinate on this for a couple of days and actually sell on Thursday or Friday, because as long as you sell by the 5th or the 6th, you have plenty of time for the money to clear, and you still pick up International Seaway before the 12th. So if you're buying International Seaway by the 10th or the 11th, you still got a whole nother week to do it. So you could potentially sell on Monday, or you could potentially sell next Friday and then buy International Seaway the following Monday. So just watch the market. If it's not where you want it to be at, you wait a couple days and it's gonna drop. You wait a couple days, and when it does drop, well, actually it should rise, and if it rises, then that's when you sell. If it rises as high as it's going to rise, you sell right then, because it's gonna drop. So before it drops, you want to sell it before it drops. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. If it does start going up a little bit more after the X dividend date, you can kind of like hang out a little bit and wait a day or two and then buy more, because it's gonna bounce back. It's like a slingshot scenario. So let's just wait and see what it does. But note, that's the next one up in the rotation is International Seaway. So after we've gotten rid of our AGNC and Orchid Island stock that we've been investing in, we could take our capital and put it towards International Seaway. International Seaway is supposed to be given $1.74 a share. So if they stick to that, even though International Seaway is like $33 a share, you're getting $1.74 a share, because they're supposed to be paying you two different types of dividends. And if you're on the books at that time, you get those dividends. So if you're getting $1.74 a share, it's almost equivalent to the share value that you would be getting from Orchid Island, except it's once a quarter. So since it's only going to be once a quarter, we're only going to hold it for 1 month out of the quarter, and we're going to follow our dividend rotation, our dividend capture strategy, however you want to call it, and we're going to work our way into the next ones up that we're going to be investing in for the month of June. Now, I do believe starting in June, we should have at least 2 or 3 quarterlies that we're going to be buying into, and some monthlies that we're going to be buying into as well. So as this progresses, just follow along with the show, and I'll be letting you guys know when we're buying and when we're selling, what we're selling and what we're buying, so that you can follow the dividend capture strategy with us. For those of you that want to enjoy or realize capital gains, it is what it is. Now, interesting thing though, if everybody's buying in to the same stock, the stock is going to go up. Stock value is going to go up. Now, first person to sell after the dividends are dispersed is going to be the person that's going to realize the most gain. And the first person to buy in before everybody else buys in is going to be buying in at its lowest. And that person is going to see the same transition. So if you know where we're about to go and you want to get a leg up on the tidal wave, just know that we're buying into Orchid Island right now. We should be getting rid of Orchid Island after the ex-dividend date. And then we're going to be walking ourselves into International Seaway and see if you're going to follow us and get those dividends. It's up to you. Unlike other places, they're going to be talking you guys into giving them money and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, you know what? Follow me or don't. Isn't that what Moses said? Moses and Jesus took all them people across the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. And then he said, we're just going to walk right on into this ocean. Follow me or don't. Moses will part the Red Sea. We're going to make it across. Whether you believe or not, we're making it across. So the rest of y'all want, and that's the mentality that I have. Whether you join me or not, I'm going to make myself successful off of this. And whether you come with me or not, I'm going to see this through. So let's start with our question for today's topic. Have you ever wondered why so many men are completely obsessed with Hong Kong? Clearly, in addition to the women, what is it about the city that gets under their skin and just won't let go? Well, today I'm diving deep into the mystery, and I want you to join me on this wild ride as we uncover what's really behind men's fascinations with Hong Kong. Picture this: Hong Kong, a city that never sleeps, a lot like New York, where the streets are alive with energy. The skyline is absolutely breathtaking, and East meets West in the most exciting way. So from the neon lit buzz of Kowloon to the sleek skyscrapers of Central, Hong Kong just has this vibe. You cannot help but feel it. And when you're out there, I tell you what, you're out there. Now, some people might say, oh, guys just go to Hong Kong to party. And sure, the nightlife is legendary. Rooftop bars, underground clubs, you name it. But this is not really all there is to the country. Not a chance. There's so much more beneath the surface, literally. Rich cultural heritage, jaw-dropping natural beauty, which is something that we are hardly struggling for in America. We are desperately looking for natural beauty. So many are talking about how they can be natural while they're currently not natural, with glue in their hair and wigs and eyelashes glued on their faces and $2,500 worth of makeup smeared all over their face. And, you know, we've talked about it plenty of times on the show. It's like looking for the natural beauty. And this is an incredible mix of old tradition and modern living that a lot of us miss because we don't have the old traditions, the positive sides of tradition still incorporated into modern society. Modern society has all of the negative sides, which is an issue. Now, let's talk about the expats for a second, though. Yeah, lots of guys move to Hong Kong for adventure, but it's not just about chasing a new thrill. Men from all over the world are drawn to Hong Kong's cosmopolitan lifestyle, world-class amenities, and let's be real, some of the best food you'll ever taste. Whether you're a foodie like me, a thrill seeker, or just someone who appreciates the finer things in life, Hong Kong has something for you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. It is all about business, right? Because that's really what I talk about on a regular basis. I try to bring you guys ways to make money for you, investments, opportunities, travel. I'm all about business, right? And yeah, Hong Kong is a major financial hub, low taxes, tubs of opportunities. But if that's all you see, you're missing out on the city's real charm. From ancient temples, shrines, they got all kinds of stuff all over there, to the bustling street market. Hong Kong is a place where tradition and modern collide, the modern lifestyle would collide in the most fascinating ways. So what is the hubbub about Hong Kong that makes it so irresistible to men? Do you guys really think it's the food, the energy, or the chance to meet people from all over the world? Well, here's some crazy statistics for you. Over 70% of men who visit Hong Kong end up falling in love with the city and staying for at least a year. That's not just coincidence. There's something magical happening here. As I talk to you guys more, I want you guys to understand that I realized over the majority of people that tell me about Hong Kong, it's not just about the parties, the food, or the business deals. It's about the community, the sense of belonging, and this infectious can-do spirit that makes you feel alive. I know a buddy that actually came from Taiwan, and he does a lot of talking to me about all of these different hobbies and trades, and he's always trying to find something to do, even on his days off. Instead of trying to rest and relax, he's trying to get involved in something, which keeps him energetic. It actually avoids depression, because when you stay still and do nothing, you fall into a rut, and then you get used to doing nothing, and then you stay in that rut, and it's hard to come out of that rut. One expat told me that he never expected to fall for Hong Kong, but the city's unique blend of East and West won him over the way it's won over plenty of others. And another guy said that he's been everywhere, but nothing compares to Hong Kong's fast-paced, high-energy lifestyle. Now, I'm looking for a slow, steady place. I'm just going to be real with you. I know that going on a vacation, people want to go everywhere and see everything in such a short period of time. And I'm like, man, I kind of want to just mosey on down to some simple small town somewhere and just like go and eat me some really good food. That's pretty much it. But first up, the blend of the East and West. Let's talk about that. Hong Kong's identity is a unique fusion of traditional Chinese cultures and Western influences, a legacy of its British colonial past alongside a hybrid of modernity, which is seen everywhere, especially in the architecture, the cuisine, and even the way people interact. Walk through Hong Kong, you'll see ancient temples next to modern skyscrapers, and you'll taste everything from dim sum to international gourmet cuisines. So for visitors, this creates an environment that feels both familiar and exotic, because while you can go to a genuine family-owned Chinese restaurant, you can also go down the street and get you some McDonald's. It is what it is. A place where you can experience the best of both worlds and then experience McDonald's. Right? Now, there's a vibrant city life. Hong Kong is famous for the fast-paced lifestyle, the bustling streets, and the iconic skylines, but often ranked among the best in the world, still has a dramatic backdrop of rolling hills behind those skyscrapers and a glittering harbor of lights that is visual, arresting, and emotional uplifting that you can't find in most places. And I got to tell you something. I didn't go out there yet, and I'm going to be making my way out there. But when I was looking at the pictures of it, I was like, whoa, If you're outside of Hong Kong, walk up to the water shore and you look at the Hong Kong lights at night, or sunset. Sunset is also just as good. You could find yourself immersed with amazement. Just looking at the regular photo itself, you're like, wow. See what I'm saying? And then you put yourself in the position of being in Hong Kong, looking offshore at the neighboring island, because Hong Kong is almost like an island next to China. It has a water surrounding it, and then a bridge that takes you to basically the mainland, right? Now, it is a magnet for anyone seeking adventure and inspiration, or just a taste of something new. And let's not forget the historical underworld, not the criminal underworld, the historical underworld. There's a mystique of Hong Kong's Triad gangs that often is glamorized in cinema and literature, and adds a layer of intrigue that a lot of people want to get involved with the criminal underworld. But the city's history of organized crime and its portrayal in pop culture fueled fantasies of danger and power, which are not always the case. Whether it's the allure of the sedative underworld or the thrill of the unknown, this darker side of Hong Kong's story is undeniably seductive. I know a lot of people would love to get involved with the organized crime because they want to be like, oh, the triads and this, that, and the third, and the underground racing and cars zooming all over the space, all over the place, like Tokyo Drift. And from what they say, if you drive fast enough, the police don't even chase you. Interest of safety. Not in America. It don't matter how fast you go. They will catch up to you. Even you could be on a rocket ship. They will be behind you with a slower rocket ship, chasing you until your rocket ship runs out of fuel, because Americans don't let you get away. They are all about seek and apprehend. But in other countries, if you go fast enough, they're not even going to try. But now let's talk about the social and gender dynamics that make Hong Kong so fascinating, because Hong Kong cinema has a long tradition of celebrating strong, assertive women, both as femme fatales and as independent, career-focused professionals. So these characters often defy traditional gender roles, challenging male expectations and adding to the city's allure. They're seen as both alluring and empowering, and they've become central figures in the city's myths. Historically, women like Nagaku and the so-called protected woman of the 19th century achieved an elevated, if unofficial, status through relationships with powerful Western men. So their stories of economic independence and influence within a patriarchal society add depth to Hong Kong's social history and intrigue. I just want to point out that nobody can swear that they're completely independent if their wealth came from marriage and divorce. They can't claim themselves to be 100% self-made if they made themselves off of their inheritance. And that's like no gender lines at all. It's just like, if you had nothing from birth and now you're a millionaire, yeah, you made that. You know, if you were broke from the beginning and then you inherited some cash, that's a little bit different. Now, these women that were pioneers navigating complex social landscapes and carving out spaces for themselves in a world that often tried to keep them down. Over the past decade, these same women in Hong Kong have become even more financially independent and assertive, disrupting traditional hierarchies and contributing to the city's reputation as a place of opportunity and reinvention. So this evolution has made Hong Kong a beacon for anyone looking to challenge the status quo and redefine what's possible. Of course, we can't talk about Hong Kong without mentioning its legendary film industry, where Hong Kong's action and noir genres have created iconic images of the city as a place of danger, romance, and intrigue, where femme fatales in particular embodied a mix of sexuality, ambition, and defiance. And we don't like defiance, but this is making them central to the city's myths. Now, these characters and the stories they inhabit have helped shape the world's perception of Hong Kong as a city where anything can happen. And then there's the thrill of the fast paced life that I keep telling you guys about, where Hong Kong is known for high stakes environment, both in business and in nightlife. Some of them places where you can go out there looking for a good time and come back with one less kidney when you started. But the city moves at a breakneck speed, and that energy is infectious. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to make your mark or a thrill seeker chasing the next big adventure. So Hong Kong offers a rush like no other. Now let's talk about why Hong Kong is such a hot spot for investments. The city's investment climate is marked by both promise and complexity, with a projected GDP growth of 2.5%, with 3.5% at the top end in 2024, and the average annual growth forecast of 3.2% from 2025 to 2028. So the government is actively supporting the businesses, attracting entrepreneurs, enterprises, capital, and talent, with a special focus on SMEs and innovation. These guys really push semiconductors. Foreign direct investment in Hong Kong remains strong. Recent figures show that FDIs at 25.8% of nominal GDP as of September of 2024, with a current account surplus of 15.4 billion US dollars in the same period. That means international money is flowing in and opportunities are abundant. For foreign investment opportunities, they have digital wealth management and robo advisors. Platforms like Stashaway offer high yield products. For example, the US dollar cash yield production currency, which offers a 4.3% annual return, making it a competitive alternative to traditional savings. They have a stock market where the international investors can easily access the Hong Kong Stock Exchange through brokers or American depository receipts, providing exposure to some of Asia's biggest companies. Real estate has always been a thing, and despite high prices in central areas, real estate remains a popular investment with opportunities in both residential and commercial sectors. With the business ventures that they have there, e-commerce is something that's really starting to blow up because, I mean, everybody's buying, selling, and living online. Freight forwarding is becoming a thing. Tech startups is really becoming a thing because every country is becoming tech savvy, and more are thriving thanks to Hong Kong's advanced digital infrastructure and strategic locationing. Now, the affordable places to live in Hong Kong are a different discussion to have. So let's get real about the cost of living there. Hong Kong is famous for its high prices, similar to the high prices of New York, but there are affordable options if you know where to look. For a single person, the average monthly cost of living, including rent, is about 20,411 Hong Kong dollars, which is roughly 2,600 US dollars per month for the total standard of living, including rent. Now, in America, that $2,600 would just cover the rent. Now, for a family of four, it's around 49,151, which is about $6,300 in US dollars. Probably getting more space. Now, rent alone can take up to 43.6% of your monthly budget. So choosing the right neighborhood is key. So here are some of the most affordable districts in Hong Kong, perfect for expats and locals alike. Suwon has a blend of old and new, with 1-bedroom rents from 10,000 Hong Kong dollars to 15,000 Hong Kong dollars per month. Now, as we determined, we said that 20,000 Hong Kong dollars is about 2,600 US dollars. So 10,000 Hong Kong dollars is about $1,000. So do the math. Tien Mu, affordable housing and good transportation links, is a good place to go for. Yen Long offers urban development and rural charm, with rents from 7,000 to 11,000 Hong Kong dollars per month. And Sha Tin is known for its green spaces and lower cost of living. Tai Po is very quiet, family friendly, and more affordable than the city center. So these areas offer a great balance between affordability and quality of life, making them attractive for anyone looking to make Hong Kong home without breaking the bank. So what is it about Hong Kong that makes it so irresistible to men? It's not just one thing, it's everything. The culture, the history, social dynamics, the cinematic mystique, and the relentless energy all come together to create a city that is impossible to ignore. And since over 70% of men who visit Hong Kong end up staying there for at least a year, you have to understand that there's something magical that is allowing individuals to fall in love with that sense of community, belonging, and endless possibilities, which draws more and more people in and keeps them hooked. One of the other things that we recognize is that while women are starting to become more and more westernized over the years, there is still enough traditional behavior involved that allows us to recognize that we have more traditional style in eastern side of the world. So swinging around by Asia, the last of a dying breed, you will get it right now in 2025. Now, 5 or 10 more years, not so much so. But if you're looking right now and you're middle-aged and you're trying to go find that special somebody, you might want to tiptoe out there and go see what you can get. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What's the real story behind men's obsessions with Hong Kong based on your observations? Since it is not just one thing. They're not just flying out there to go get laid, because nobody's going to spend 20 grand to fly to another country under the observation that that same person is still supposed to be broke. So what are they really after when they're flying to another country? I'm going to think along the lines of genuine happiness, not dependability upon one's individual wealth. But whether you're a seasoned traveler or just looking for the next adventure, look into Hong Kong. It is definitely calling your name as one of the places to stop off at. And if you have ever been to Hong Kong, what was your experience like? Drop your stories in the chat and let's keep this conversation going. And if you want to learn even more about what makes Hong Kong so special, make sure that you guys stay tuned for some of the episodes where we'll be exploring the city's hidden gems and off the beaten path destinations that not too many people know too much about. So what was your observations from today? I think that swinging around and looking into the dynamics of different countries and different places to go, where Hong Kong is one of the most expensive ones. Typically, we try to find some of the cheapest places to go, but because we covered Hong Kong has a lot of history, and a lot of historical landmarks that you can go and see. So it's a very beautiful place to travel through. And it's a very beautiful culture that you can look at as well. So the people are easy on the eyes. You know that they've got a law out there where you're not supposed to be overweight. So a lot of the people out there are as thin as they are because it's the law. Their diets are the way they are because it's the law. I would be interested in going out there and trying to indulge one of their diets while adding my meat-filled diet to their dynamics. But it just really depends on what's what. Hong Kong was a very short topic for us to go into. We're going to be touching base on some ways that we can improve ourselves Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I want you guys to keep an eye out for that. Oh, I want to talk to you guys about this book real quick, Alice in Cryptoland. We're going to be covering this book later this afternoon and throughout tomorrow. So you're going to see me putting up a video this week about this book. It is a one of those comic book style things that teaches you how to invest in online investment opportunities, cryptocurrencies, and other such, ETFs and other such. And it's a really detailed guide of everything that you need. And it's something that not only is fun for those who don't already know what to do, but it's a cool way to teach your kids how to invest as well. So if you've got a kid that's interested in comic books, you know, I know that when we have fallen short of a generation of individuals where we learn through entertainment. So because of that, we have a small generation of individuals that finds entertainment in education. And as a result, as soon as you hand them a book about learning, they're not interested. You know, because at least in the Western cultures, we have not taught our children the importance of knowledge, and we have not made knowledge fun. But in other countries like Hong Kong, Taiwan, Thailand, like the kids really want to learn. They really want to learn, whether it's embedded in them the importance of knowledge for their futures, or their desires to improve their lifestyle or their family's lifestyle by making themselves successful, dedication to the family, dedication to the cause. Regardless of those facts, we still have to dig deeper into the dynamic that learning in a fun way can teach your children what they need to know to be successful when it counts. If they have all of these financial tools under their belt when they're in their single digits, by the time they're old enough to take these actions, if they haven't already been taking these actions along the way, they will make less mistakes. So I encourage for you to pick the book up. With that being said, we're going to be looking into, because I'm going to be putting the links up on the show, and then I'm going to be putting the information, the tags and information related to the content on the show and on the video that I'm going to be making. And then you guys will be able to come and take a look at it. And we're going to be putting it up on some of our other platforms, Pinterest, Twitter, Twitch, all these other places. So you'll be able to see us taking off with this particular channel, with this particular book coming soon. And I'll let you know how things turn out. Depending upon the return rate of the book will determine how many more books we cover. So we have a production expectation with this particular promotion. Oh, and some guys were talking to us about coffee. So they're supposed to be sending us some coffee. They haven't sent us the coffee yet, but when they send us the coffee, we will have the coffee, and then I'll be able to show you guys what the coffee is. We're supposed to be getting the this and that coffee mug coming in along with the cooking apron. Since we're going to be airing the coffee commercial, we're going to be doing a coffee commercial with a this and that cup, and we're going to be doing hopefully the next, well, I can't say the next one because I just picked up the ingredients today, and I'm probably going to put some stuff together tomorrow, because the only thing I have to do tomorrow besides sleep is cover this video for the book. So I think tomorrow we're going to be doing the it's supposed to be like a surf and turf kind of thing, because we're doing shrimp and burgers blended together. So I'm going to be doing a video about how we sauteed up the shrimp and then diced them up and then blended them into the ground beef. and then mixed all of the ingredients into the ground beef and with the breadcrumbs and the cheese and all of this stuff. And then we're going to be turning them into individual patties. And then we're going to start simmering them on the stove and maybe baking some of them in the oven. And we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff with these things. And we're going to be making burgers that are non-traditional burgers. We're going to be making burgers for our next video. So speaking of, got to give a special shout out to Fit Chef. I'm probably going to have to start throwing their link into the comment section so that y'all can write it down. Well, we're going to be doing yet another recipe, because Fit Chef has some recipes on how to glaze and marinate some of the shrimp, and we're going to be making that stuff work as well. So since that's what we're going to be doing, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. With 5 pounds of ground beef, we should be able to piece together, depending on portion sizes for the burgers, we should be able to piece together a few dozen burgers off of 5 pounds of ground beef. So 5 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of shrimp. So that's like 7 pounds of meat. And we should be able to turn that thoroughly into, I want to say, about if we're doing quarter pounders, if we're doing quarter pounds of meat, we should get about 4 burgers per pound, which means that we should get about 25 burgers. Well, no, 20 burgers. We should get about 20 burgers. And if we do get about 20 burgers, we should be able to walk away with oh, I got to make sure I order the burger buns. Now that I think about it, we should be able to walk away with 2 or 3 burgers a day. So 20 burgers should last us about a week, roughly, a little under a week. But this particular stack only really cost about $80 to pick up. So once we put it together and see how far it goes, I'll let you guys know. We are, in fact, saving a large quantity of capital by cooking. But one of the problems that we have with cooking at the house is that it takes more time to do the food prep and put everything together to cook. So that, for a busy lifestyle, requires you to have another individual there to aid you with some of the stuff around the way so that you have more time to cook. Speaking of, I got to add bacon to it, because I definitely want to have some bacon involved in that. So I got to add some more things to the recipe. So it's probably going to be a little bit more than $80. Just note, when we put it together, I'll tell you about the total price of what all we went and grabbed and how we were able to portion that stuff out. I want to thank you guys for coming to today's show, because that is all we have for you today. We want to make sure that we keep the adventure alive as we talk about other countries on Wednesday, about where to go and what to invest in, because we can find places to go, things to do, and people to enjoy wherever we go around the world. Remember that we're supposed to tee this bad boy off around about the same time every night. I try to give you guys close to an hour show at minimum every night. We do try to take off at around 10:30, 10:45, but we do manage to get the ball rolling close to 11. And that also means that we try to give you guys about an hour into 11. But, today we're going to be wrapping things up a little bit early, but we're going to be here tomorrow. If I were you, I would hang around tomorrow afternoon, round about 10:30 Central Time, which is like 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you were to hang around about 10:30, 10:45, you'll see us popping off with another topic for tomorrow, because we're going to be coming up with other ways to improve our social network. I should do a whole show about how to improve your social profile. and now that I think about it, I might incorporate some of that information in improving your social network and going into why these things need to be improved in order so that you can get better results. So with that being said, I see you guys. A special shout out to Red Void and Danny Steffen from over there on Twitch side. I'm always paying attention to you when you guys are popping in. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. hit that follow button. If you have not followed us on Twitch and Twitter, make sure that you follow us on Twitch and Twitter if you're watching us from Twitch and Twitter. And if you have not followed us on YouTube and you're watching us from Twitch or Twitter, make sure that you swing on over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button, because that gives you the opportunity to get push notifications when the show does go live, so that you know that we're rocking and rolling on the show, because you never want to miss out on the things that we talk about, because as things progress, I can piece together 5, 7, 10 different shows that I've already covered, which gives you guys more knowledge and more information to make yourselves more successful. And you can always go back on the YouTube channel and watch all of the older shows. In order for me to update the shows on Twitch, I'm going to have to drop 50 of the older shows to make room for adding on some of the newer shows. But if you want to come and watch all of the shows, since Twitch has a limited background, all of the shows are ready and willing to be seen on the YouTube channel. And I don't archive anything since August of last year, because all of it is real-time knowledge that you can benefit from. The only thing that changes is the stock market values and investment prices. But all of the information that I've been giving you since August is relevant enough to stay on the show. So we're going to keep everything that we put up there, and we're just going to see where this channel takes us. So what I'm going to say now is, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, I really appreciate you guys for coming to the show and showing the support. Special shout out to Omni81, Mr. Pibbs, Reese Martinez, Max Opposer, Joe his father, Usman, Mr. Satellite, Nico, Nikki, Victoria B, Bayside. You know, I really appreciate Rev Chap 76. I really, really appreciate you guys for coming to the show on a regular basis and showing us love and support. Thank you guys again for coming to this and that. Any comments that are left in the comment section that are appropriate, even from Twitch and YouTube and Twitter, they will be thrown up onto the screen during the outro of the show. So thanks again for coming to the show, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. It used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground.